Pathfinders, Master Guide in Training and Master Guides, prayer position. Shall we pray? God, Almighty Father, Creator of heaven and earth, we want to thank you for this Sabbath day that you have given to us, for us to worship and fellowship as a member of your family, O Lord. We want to thank you for gracing us with your presence since this morning up until this hour, O Lord. And we want to thank you for guiding the Pathfinders, Master Guides, and Master Guide in Training from all over the UAE to go here safely and to join this Pathfinder rally. Lord, we want to ask for your guidance and protection as the Pathfinders are going to participate in the activities this Pathfinder rally and in this event. Lord, please forgive us in all our wrongdoings and listen to our prayers, O Lord. May you send your grace and mercy upon us as we go into this event. All this we ask in the loving name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Participants, you may now proceed to your seats. Color guards, bow, face. About face. Color guards, prepare to exit. Pathfinders, Master Guides in Training, and Master Guides, you may now take your seats. Take your seats.
Okay, first I want to hear from, okay, I'll go from the south to north. From Abu Dhabi International Church.
Go! Hurrah, Abu Dhabi! Go!
Okay, thank you. How about Abu Dhabi Central Church?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you. And Al Ain Church?
1, 2, 3,
Okay, thank you. And we'll go to Dubai Creek Lighthouse Pathfinder Club. Okay, Dubai Visayan Faithful Friends Club. And then we have Forever Faithful Sharjah. Okay, we go back to Mustafa Club. How about Russell Kramer Club, Pathfinder Club?
We are Oasis!
invite you to stand. Let's pray together. Father in heaven, we want to thank you for bringing us safely from all around the country to celebrate this Pathfinder Rally. Lord, I thank you for our young people, and I thank you for all the adults who go alongside to bless, to guide, to encourage, to mentor. May you bless this moment, and may we enjoy in your presence. We ask in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Understanding down in my heart to stay, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I got the love of Jesus in my heart, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I got the love of Jesus in my heart. I've got the Seventh-day Adventist message down in my heart. Down in my heart, down in my heart. I got the Seventh-day Adventist message down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I got the love of Jesus in my heart, and I'm so happy, so very happy. I got the love of Jesus in my heart.
For a second song, let's sing Give Thanks.
Question again. How long have you been in the Pathfinder Club?
Exactly 29 years now.
Wow, 29. 30, 19 years, and then almost 30 again.
I've been a missionary volunteer as a master guide since 1999.
Wow, that's a long time. Thank you.
If I remember it correctly, I joined the club in 2012, I'm not sure, but I was invested in 2014 during the first Gulffield campaign.
Very good. 2012.
I've been in Pathfinder from 1994. Then for about 4 years, then I skipped. So now I'm a master guide in training, so about 4 years.
4 years. Very good.
So it looks like Marco has been a Pathfinder almost my entire age. But I joined the Pathfinder also 1994, so 25 years now.
1999, so 20 years now. Thanks, God. Okay.
thing we will hear from them is, what is your motto for your life? Is there any phrase that is encouraging you anytime you feel down or something when you have a challenge? There should be a motto or something encouraging you.
Well, since being a Pathfinder, starting when I was still in the elementary school, I was taught and brought up to cherish the Pathfinder law and the Pathfinder pledge in every day of my life. And in my club, I always teach them that the Pathfinder pledge and the Pathfinder law is not only during the Pathfinder classes, but all throughout in the week of their life, the entire weeks of their life, until we meet again on the following Sabbath.
Okay, so the Pathfinder pledge and the law. Yeah, very nice. We use the Pathfinder pledge and law in our lives.
When she asked me what to say about it, I was thinking about the Pathfinder law, and specifically the keep the level eye. Yeah, because it should always be with your life. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
They were saying that my teacher always repeated us in school, it's do what's right, because it's right, and leave the consequences to God. So always do what's right.
Always do what is right, remember that.
My motto since I become a missionary, since 1999 years, I will be a servant of God and a friend to man.
Amen. Very nice.
For me, being a working mother and what is this? And being active in church, we all know that it's not an easy task to juggle both roles. So lately, I've been always looking at this verse that the Lord is our strength and our song. So
my motto in life is to reflect Christ in everything that I do.
Amen. Amen. Reflect Christ.
For me, Romans 8:28 has been particularly encouraging. All things work together for good for those that love the Lord. So even when things are not going my way, I know they still are working for good.
Amen. Amen.
my motto has always been do your best, and I try to do just that.
So let's do our best. Okay, thank you so much. These are all the directors from the Gulf, and those who were absent is because they have to travel or they are on duty now. Thank you very much.
Come on, that's not enough. All right, please have a seat.
We will now officially open the quiz. It's here from home.
I know it's last year. We had
rally last year. Okay, so I was checking my time. It's only 3:15, so I thought I'm gonna have more time. But our director here said, no, I'm gonna stick to the time. I should be spending only 15 minutes for you. Is that okay? Do you want more time? Oh, okay. So I hope we'll be learning from from this interview. Okay? So I'm gonna start the timer. 15 minutes starts. Okay, the first question. I wanted you just to be relaxed because this is I want an answer straight from the heart, not like an answer that will impress everyone. No, I would want an honest answer. Okay? So just be relaxed and then tell us what is in your mind. Okay? So let's ask the first question. And the first question is for everyone. The first question is, what is the newest activity that you had in your club? The newest activity, the recent one. Huh? What is the most recent? What is the latest activity that you had in your clubs? Okay, who wants to answer first? Okay, let's have. Can you say your name and then your club name? And
okay. My name is Shane, and I am from the Lighthouse Pathfinder Club. And the recent activity that we had was hiking. Ah. Hiking, yes. But
where?
The thing is, I didn't attend. So I didn't attend. But they sent me photos of it, and they told me all about it. So, yeah.
That's so exciting! To see someone else's activity. Anyway, do you think the next time you would want to join them?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Who else would want to answer? What is the most recent activities that you had? Anyone can answer.
So, first of all, I'll introduce my name. My name is Ariel. I'm from Abu Dhabi International.
Wow.
And the latest activity we had in our club is the induction investiture.
Okay.
So we had new members coming too.
Wow. How many new members do you have?
We only have 3.
Wow, congratulations.
They're all from friend class.
Okay, so who else? Newest activity that we had? No activities at all? I'm gonna ask the club directors then.
My name is Robin. I'm from Dubai Central.
Okay.
The most recent activity we had was camping, and it was in Abu Dhabi.
Wow, in our place. Wow. Okay, was that exciting? Did you have fun? Okay, who else? No activities at all? Oh, there's a hand over there. Oh, sorry.
My name is Jordan. I'm from the A Club. The recent activity we had was we were finishing off some teddy bears for teddy bear outreach.
Wow! Where did you do your outreach? Have you done your outreach already?
We did one already.
Where is it?
It was in a hospital.
Oh, that's so sweet. I think we should all do that. What do you think, guys? Yeah, we should join you.
Here, but I finished all classes.
Wow, congratulations.
And then I've been in the Pathfinder Club for 3 years.
Okay.
I started the Pathfinders 2019.
Oh. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have enjoyed the interview. Thank you. See you again next time.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by saying I need 3 volunteers. Okay, you're not gonna have to like run or anything. Oh, okay, someone already went up here. Okay. Wait. Okay, that's more than 3 people. Okay. But thank you for volunteering. Thank you for walking up here. I haven't picked you yet, but thank you for walking up here. So the title of my story is called "It's Not a Problem." You can take this as a pun, or you can look at the comma and see it differently. So here's my story. There was a guy named Ezio, and he was doing some math homework. He was growing frustrated because of the fact that he could not understand. Now, how many of us have gotten stuck on a math question because their teacher is not good at explaining things? So, we can all relate to this, which is great. So he turned to his grandfather and said, "I give up. My math teacher, I don't know what she's saying. I don't understand what she's saying. So I'm stuck in this math question." So he gave the question to his grandfather. His grandfather looked at it and he said, "Unfortunately for you, I have forgotten all about this. So you should wait for your mother to come home. In the meanwhile, I would like you to untie this one knot." One person, please come up. Just one knot. This one knot. And other person. I want you to untie this. And he was able to untie it in like, how many seconds? 1 second. 1 second. Wow. And yeah, a couple of seconds. Good job, thank you. Stay here for now. The next day, Ezio was walking to school when he passed by his best friend's house. He heard shouting coming from the house, sounds of a fierce argument between two people. It continued when his best friend, Altair, finally walked out of the house. There was a mixture of sadness and anger when he approached. Ezio asked him, "Are you okay?" Altair said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just go to school." But from his tone, it was clear that he was not fine. That day, Ezio was back from school with two things troubling his mind: Altair's behavior and his math test tomorrow. Oh no. He opened up to his grandfather about it. I overheard Altair's parents arguing again. He didn't want to talk about it, but he looked angry and sad. His grandfather said nothing for a few moments. And when he finally did, he was like, "Untie this knot." Untie these next two knots. So he began untying the few knots. The first two knots were very easy. They were like overhand, underhand, through hand, maybe. But the third knot was slightly harder and took a little longer to untie. But eventually, they were able to untie it. See? Yeah. The next day, as soon as the bell rang, Ezio quickly rushed towards Altair. The next day it was a school day. And Ezio quickly rushed towards Lockhart to tell him the good news. "Altair, guess what?" Ezio told him. "I got a B on my math test." "That's great, Ezio," Altair praised. "Yup, my mom helped me last night." And he realized his mistake too late. Altair's face darkened, his expression closed off, his walls came down, and there was a mixture of sadness and anger in his eyes. He felt anger at his own best friend, his parents, his own life, because Ezio was a painful reminder of what he didn't have. A normal family that didn't bicker 24/7 and just get along, which was... So Altair left him in the crowded hallways. came back from school with a bad mood. He got 2 late warnings, was scolded for being distracted, and he hadn't heard of Altair since. He was on his desk once again stuck on a homework question that isn't math, and he was getting frustrated. He was really getting frustrated. His grandfather approached with new knots. "Would you like to untie these?" "Not now, Grandpa, I'm very busy," was his reply. His grandpa left the room on the desk beside him and left the room. So are you guys almost done untying that now? So while you guys are untying, how are you feeling?
Pressured.
Oh wait, you untied it. Good job. Never mind. Oh, he finished. Okay. So the homework was really getting to him, and he was so frustrated. He was getting really frustrated, so he gave up on his homework, and he began untying the first few knots. The first few knots were really easy to untie, but the last knot, one knot remained, and he could not untie it. His frustration grew. He just could not untie the knot. So, okay, so they just could not, oh wow, you're able to untie that. Anyway, okay, so finally, he spotted a pair of scissors on the desk. When his grandfather came back into the room, he saw a knot that was cut in two and a pair of scissors right beside it. So the next day, Ezekiel skipped school. His best friend Altair was found dead last night. Yeah. There was no sign of struggle, nor were there any wounds, just a few pills on his bedside table, and one father walking out the house, suitcase in tow. Yeah, he died, if you, yeah. His grandfather walked into his room. In one half was a rope cut in half, and the other hand was a rope with different knots ranging in difficulty. Ezekiel thought that he was gonna ask him to untie another knot, and well, he wasn't really in the mood for untying another knot.
To parallel with the school-based Pathfinder Club, we meet 2 hours every Sabbath, and we alternate the activity each Sabbath. One Sabbath is for classes, and the other Sabbath is for honor classes, progressive classes and honor classes. For this year, we look forward to a colorful activities. We look forward for kayaking, hiking, camping, and stuff like that. But we never forget to include the community outreach where we visit the POLO. POLO stands for Philippine Overseas Labor Office. Those less fortunate brothers and sisters of ours who lost their visas and things like that, they became we call it asylum seekers, and the Pathfinders go regularly to meet them and to comfort them and to give aid to them. Please continue to pray for our club as well as the overall Pathfinder Club of the Gulf Field.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Abu Dhabi International. Feel welcome. You are among your brothers and sisters, and that we are looking forward to having more fun with you. All right? So I'm going to give a chance to each club leader If you have a report, you say what you want to say. If not, you just greet your brothers and sisters, okay? Come Russell Kema this side, and Russell Kema will be our host, so we want to make sure that they grow and they flourish and they prosper.
Good afternoon, Pathfinders. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Our club, you can see we're still new. Thank you for introducing us. We've got 5 Pathfinders, all new. Adventurers, we've got 9 adventurers, all of them starting this year. And we've got 5 MITs. That means all instructors are still new. Some have been trained in their countries on the Master Guide, but because they have to be certified this side, so everyone is new. So it's basically a new club. We actually had our induction just last week. Amen. So we're happy to start the club. And our motto for the club is Scars in Our Hearts. So our focus for this year, because our club is still small, our focus is to groom the Pathfinders, the Master Guide, and even the adventurers in the club. And the key thing is to equip them with the knowledge so that they'll be able to understand and also to articulate and also to be able to serve. So we are also asking the assistance for other clubs in terms of training, in terms of getting the skills, in terms of getting the knowledge. Because even the people who are actually counselors in the club, they're also in training. So we need the knowledge of the Master Guide in other clubs. So our clubs, to catch up with the lost time since we started last week, we'll be having all our activities each and every Sabbath. Then for the activities that are supposed to be done outside of the Sabbath, we have them start during after Sabbath at night or Fridays. So the focus is to grow the club. Thank you all.
Amen. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Garfield Pathfinder Club, I want to welcome you into the fellowship of the Pathfinder Clubs, not only in the Garfield, but all around the world. And you have heard their request to pray for them so that they grow, but also to lend your skills and expertise. So whenever you can, send your Master Guide, send your instructors, send your counselors to support and help them grow. If you have resources, also share with them. So we welcome you, and we're glad that you were able to make it, even though you just had induction last week, but you were able to make it to this rally. Thank you very much. Stay here while we hear from Musafa.
God is good all the time. Okay, my wife happens to be the director of the club. She's not here, and as you can see, our club is young. But for the report, I have a privilege to have my daughter, Faith. She'll give you the report.
So we are 4 Pathfinders in this club, and we have an adventure, and we have a couple of MITs. We just started doing classes, like progressive classes, about a month ago. And yesterday we actually did the baking honor. It was really nice. It was
Where's
fun.
the bread?
It's coming. Yeah. So yeah, we're trying. So now our focus is to move and to get more honors, so that we might be as big as Sharjah Cubs soon, maybe one time. So yeah, that's what.
Thank you very much. Don't be intimidated by them. They were just where you were a few years ago. All right, so again, thank you for coming, and the same thing goes to this.
Christian storytelling, felt craft, not time. Congratulations. Please remain here beside. Now we proceed to invest Jocelyn Acosta.
Pastor Stephen, what's your feeling today as you see the Pathfinders in this world?
To be honest, I am so impressed that we have so many young people, young blood, invested in Pathfinders, which is, I think, a powerful tool in our church to keep and to bring people to the foot of the cross.
All right. Having said that, Pastor Stephen, and your team, what's your vision for the Pathfinders in the Garfield?
It is my prayer that we will continue to grow, and one of the things that I'd like to see is at some point where we can come and have really big international camporees like we were talking about in 2020. And to be able to expand and grow a lot bigger than this, and to have more people from outside the church also be part of the Pathfinder Club. So those are the two things that I would like to probably see. Pathfinders, to keep our young people in, to bring young people in from outside the church, and as well to have something internationally wider and bigger and more professionals.
Okay, maybe you want to give your pastor the chance to respond to the same, the vision for your Pathfinder clubs in your various churches in the future.
Well, I serve only one church. I'm here at Dubai Central, and I'm very happy to see the club growing. The adventurers and the Pathfinders, they are growing and they are active, and I'm very happy about that. The one thing that I am hopeful to see more is activities outside of the Sabbath. We are very busy on Sabbath days, but because of the Sabbaths, then we don't have enough time to do more of the fun things that Pathfinders allow you to do, like go camping and hiking and burying yourself in mud and breaking things and discovering things and conquering things. So that's also the challenge, and I hope that we can have more of those adventure and nature things in our meetings.
Okay, Pastor Stanley, while you still have the mic, are you satisfied with the support which you are getting from the parents, the Garfield in general? Are you happy with the way things are going in terms of Pathfinders?
Yeah, I'm very happy with
any improvements you would suggest.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the support of the parents. We have a big team of local leaders with Sister Magilde leading the Pathfinders and Sister Geraldine leading the adventurers, and there is a big thing behind, and the parents. My only complaint is with the parents, many times they are in the room but they're just talking their own stuff. If they can get more involved actually with the things that their children are doing, that will be much, much better.
Yeah, thank you. Would you pass on to Pastor Nadado? Pastor Nadado, any addition, improvements, comments with your club and what you see in the Gulf in general?
Well, I see that I praise God that we have a multitude of mixture of the young ones and the ones young in the club. And I think that's very good. You see, we have parents who are truly involved also in the Pathfindering. So we're glad to be that support and involvement directly in. And I think more parents. If they don't have children, produce more children. If nothing more, just join in and get involved. Okay? And my vision or my prayer is that this Pathfindering program of the church would serve as an avenue, a medium to reach out, to connect. Say, for example, the scouts here in UA, where we could really rub shoulders with them and we have something to offer to them. And I think that's really a vision as we have started here, being that we started the first company. Because we want to connect and we move toward that direction. That it should not be only for our own glory or, but let those honors will bring honor to God and to His word.
Thank you. Pastor Park, because of time, 2 minutes. Your vision for the Pathfinders in support of the President and the Pathfinder leaders, Guren and Lynn.
Yes, as I listened to the report from different Pathfinders Club today, Sharjah Church has 141, right? 141 Pathfinders, and also Dubai Center is 86 something, 84. So only 2 churches is over 220, and counting all the Pathfinders overall in Goldfield, I guess I assume about 300, more than 300 and 400. And then, the membership of the whole Goldfield is only 2,000, maximum 200. So it's almost like 20% of the membership. And when I listen to that, what kind of conference or union conference has that Pathfinders having about 20% of the whole membership? That's amazing. Even though we are not many, but we have a very, very strong Pathfinder program in our Goldfield. So, and Pastor Stephen, the president of Goldfield, I'm very happy that you said you support, Field will support the Pathfinders, the Camporee as well. So, we need to advertise more that we have a very strong Pathfinders. So we'll grow and expand more. And lastly, I hope and I want to see that someday soon we'll have Arabic-speaking Pathfinders in our Pathfinders Club, using this Pathfinder, so that God may use our Pathfinders to reaching out our people in the Goldfield.
Okay. On that note, Pastor Park, maybe and Pastor Stephen, do you think you need now to recalculate about the resources which you have at your disposal for Gulf, which can use to support the Pathfinders as a tool for evangelism, having in the reports? Do you think you need to maybe recalculate or add more resources in terms of supporting the Pathfinders as a tool for evangelism?
Well, let me start off by saying yes, I think there needs to be improvement. There's always room for improvement in any department of our churches, of our field. But I do think there could be a lot more improvement in the Pathfinders in the sense of, let me put it this way. I really thank the work of Lynn and Gureni, and now Daly has been added. And Lynn and Gureni have been at this since 2005, probably, if I'm not mistaken. And so since I've come in 2014 to this day, I can see an almost 180-degree change in what they have done. With the booklets, with the badges that are available, and the organization, it's just been tremendous. And I want to thank you for that. However, I also think that at some point the load is huge on both of them. It's a very massive load, and we've got to somehow bring in resources either to support or somebody. I don't want a replacement. I'm trying to avoid that terminology, but somebody to give more support and more, if you want to put it, more directed at that in organizing this.
Pastor Park, any addition? Okay, I think, all right, I think we've heard enough from the pastors. because of our time, I will take 2 questions from this side and 2 questions from this side directed to our pastors. What questions do you have which is direct to our pastors? 2 questions from this side and 2 questions from this side. Do you have any questions for our pastors?
Pastor Andy and Noel want to answer.
Okay, let's listen carefully to the question.
When you were small, did you ever think you best pastor? Yeah.
Okay. When you first, the question to the pastor: when you were small, do you ever thought you were going to be a pastor?
I'll answer this question very simply. I have 2 bachelor's degrees. One is in business, one is in theology. And my whole goal in life was to do business, be in business, in the business world, out in the world, but at the same time support the church. But somehow it didn't work out. God just drew me in whether I liked it or not, and here I am.
No, I never thought I would be a pastor. I wanted to be a doctor. But when a friend lashed his arm and I saw blood coming out and fat coming out and tissue coming out, and I said, okay, this is not for me. And then the Lord drew me and here I am. But yeah, no, I never thought.
I'm sure God knows that I'll be a pastor. Because in the first place, when I was small, until 19 years old, I was not an Adventist. I'm just converted. And then this is what is interesting. After being a working student for 5 years, then I moved to Mountain View College. When I transferred and applied in Mountain View College, my application was to be in the education department, to be a teacher, educator. But when I enrolled and had my lineup of subjects, all Bible subjects, and then somebody, I forgot who was that person. He said, why are you taking? What department? Education. Why all Bible? Better take theology. And then I just, no questions, okay, theology, no problem. And then, now, here I am. Now, Pastor, I'm sure that I want to search who was that person who told me, take theology. So, praise God. I'm here. When I was your age, my dream was a scientist. But because of Sabbath keeping, the Lord changed my course. So from my grade 10 or afterwards, I had some inner conviction that, okay, I'll be a pastor. So that's how I am here now.
So none of them thought they would be pastors. Second question.
When you were small, did you like Pathfinder?
I suppose this question is for those who grew up in the Adventist church.
I did enjoy the Pathfinders. And last week when I was in Abu Dhabi, I shared some of the stuff we did at camps that I should not repeat here during Pathfinders. Well, let me put it this way. We played a lot of tricks on each other, and I really enjoyed Pathfinders.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Pathfinders. It's a pity that my church didn't have a proper running and functioning club. We worked most of the year, almost every Sunday. We were in a park doing something, learning something, breaking something, getting something dirty. I mean, it was very focused on nature activities and doing things. Sadly, we didn't do much of the book work, or we would begin and never finish, and then the next year we start again and never finish. So it was a pity that it didn't work on that side. But I went to lots of camporees and lots of activities and did lots of nice things, rappel and jumping from mountains and trees, and you know, it was very nice, very fun, lots of fun.
I'm sure I enjoy pathfinding, although I'm already big. So pathfinding is not only for the small ones, also not only for the young ones, but the ones young.
this side because of time.
My question is, at what age did you become, at what age were you baptized and how did you feel after that?
I was baptized in April 12, I think, or 11, 1984. I was about, I'm not going to tell you my age. I was about 9 years old. And yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I was 9 years old. I think it was April 10, something like that. So we actually got baptized close to the same date. And I felt great. That day after baptism, I went home, we had lunch, and I sat on the couch. I didn't want to put my feet on the ground because I thought I would sin. So eventually I had to come down.
Plus 10. I was 19 years old when I was baptized. And it's transforming this way.
I was attending other Sunday keeping church from very early, but as an Adventist I was baptized when I was 15 years old, and I was so happy, and I tried to be very good person, Christian, and somehow the person who taught me Adventism was very strict person. So after the baptism I even didn't eat any candies. So my height is the height that I was baptized. So, but I'm enjoying, and it was a really wonderful decision. I encourage you to take baptism anytime soon.
Last question.
It's me.
There was one more here. Since they don't have another
It's me.
Okay.
Pastor, I'd like to ask you, what are the most challenging time you've ever faced in your ministry?
I always keep on answering the first question. I've got to think really fast. So I'm going to give it to them now.
Most challenging moment?
Yeah, in your ministry.
Well, I don't want to be very honest about that because I mean you may not understand that. But so I want to share that my first the baptismal students, and I at their first year the pastor, I taught 2 college students, and then after maybe 2 months, it was time to ask them to accept the baptism, and I was so kind of very nervous, and then what if they say no? So I prayed a lot the previous night, and then I'm not a very I'm a kind of shy person, so I was very hesitant to ask that question for the first the baptized people. And then finally, I got the courage to ask the question, and then they said very immediately, yes, I want to be baptized. So I was have that. I mean, it was a challenge a little bit, but it was a happy moment.
Amen.
I think the most challenging moment is that when I deal with a brother who committed sin. Unfortunately, he was the head elder of my church. And they called for a meeting, the family. And I said, Pastor, I have this problem. Can you say, I would submit to disciplinary action, but put up another reason, not this one. I will not mention the sin. It's a mortal sin. But wanted to say that to water down the reason, he would submit to disciplinary action, but not exactly the reason, the ground that he committed. As if they're trying to
cover up.
You know, use me, that I would agree with them and to make a cover up. That was really a challenging, you know, moment. So, of course, God provides wisdom, and then I responded for how long we could keep the secret. Just in case I would agree with you. For how long? How can you assure that this issue will not lead to others? Sorry, brother, I could not, you know, join in. You have to call sin by its right name. Sorry. So, that's it.
Yeah. My story is somehow similar. I had a elder, and for some reason we couldn't see eye to eye. That church had been without a pastor for some time, and then I was sent there, and I don't know, he felt threatened, he felt I was displacing him or whatever. He tried to make my life miserable in every single way that he could think of. And that was very tough. That was very tough. But lots of prayer, lots of perseverance, lots of patience, lots of endurance. I'm still alive.
The bottom line is there are different challenges that you face when you're a pastor, like everybody else here. Spiritual, emotional, mental, financial, physical, it just goes on and on and on. But let me mention to you one financial challenge that I faced. I was working in Lebanon, and then I was transferred to a different country. And to be honest, for some reason the finances of the church weren't that great because people weren't really returning faithful tithe. To cut a long story short, I didn't receive a salary. And to be honest, I would go, and in about 2 weeks I would run out of money. And I was very careful with it. And my Jill and I, Jill is here, she's my witness, we wouldn't have food. No food. But the amazing thing about that was the Lord always provided somehow. One of my elders would come say, you know, Pastor, for some reason I overbought food. Here's a box for you. And the Lord always provided, and this went on for month after month until the church started growing back again and people started returning tithe, but the Lord provided. So that was one of the challenges. Another challenge that I would say is I was in Beirut in a very poverty-stricken town. I mean, you want to see poverty, I can take you there. And the challenge that I faced there was I was working with kids that were off the streets, literally rough kids who swore, he cussed. I mean, rough kids. Their mothers, sorry to say, were just doing horrible stuff, their parents. And to cut a long story short, the needs were so great, just overwhelming. You're just overwhelmed. And that's when you turn to the Lord and say, you know, Lord, you got to take this. I can't do this. So those are the two I can remember, but there's a lot more. But those are the two I will highlight.
Thank you. There's one more.
If only one pastor can answer, please.
Okay.
Only for this last one.
We'll give it to the host today, Pastor for the mic.
At what age did God change your life?
We'll have several pastors answer. It's a continuous process and it will never end.
I would completely agree. I can remember several times when I felt the Lord touch my life in a special way. Like once when I was baptized, once in a camporee, once when I was participating in a communion service in church, once in Japan, once here in Dubai. It's an ongoing process that the Lord comes to you, and then He comes to you again, and He comes to you again, and you continue growing.
copy paste.
I did all that.
So, alright. Because of time, I will just ask the last one question and it needs an answer only from Pastor Stephen. Pastor Stephen, how many pastors do you have in the Gulffield?
I don't know the answer. About 10.
About 10. Thank you very much. And, thank you, Pastor.
Funeral and to somebody that is dying. How do you manage that psychologically and as in this list? For me, I've always asked that question. How do you manage going from somebody that is dead, you go to that home, then you're counseling somebody that is married, then somebody that is sick and that kind of thing. How do you manage it as a minister? That's difficult. How do you manage that? That's like kind of schizophrenic. How do you manage? It's tough. How do you manage? It is. That's why I asked, I know.
Well, I saw some pastors going to funeral service in the morning, and then afternoon the wedding service.
I've done that.
But thankful to God, but I haven't had that kind of experience. So if you have, you can answer. But my experience, when I try to seek the will of God, God helped me to manage those situations. So I didn't have that extreme kind of situation, but it was good enough that I still could manage those. But Pastor Stephen may.
It's complicated. And the thing is, you go in, this has been my experience. I go perform the funeral, and then literally the next day or something, I have to go to a wedding or something. And so what I do is you just go there and just acclimate, then you go to the other one and then acclimate, and then I believe also prayer does the miracles. When you're driving to that place, you're just praying, Lord, you've got to change my mindset. Yeah, because it's hard. It is hard. It's overwhelming.
Darlie Espinosa, okay? So any of these three names was okay. Second question, you have to learn 7 categories of Bible gems for each class. Which category is missing? It was the first one, doctrine. Third, what are the 6 classes for Pathfinder Club? We have friend, companion, explorer, ranger, voyager, and guide, okay? 4, for campsite inspection, alignment of 10 is not important, true or false? Is false. It is very important. 5. What do the 4 colors of the Pathfinder triangle represent? Red, sacrifice. White, purity. Blue, loyalty. And gold, excellence. 6. Write the item of the Pathfinder law that means in any devotional exercise we will be quiet, careful, and reverent. We have there 6. Walk softly in the sanctuary. 7. Finish the following statement. We are in a battle against sin, and our weapon is the Word of God. Okay? 8. Write Psalm 23:1 or Psalm 46:1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. 9. What is the theme for this year Pathfinder activities? Thy word will take us home. And the last one, write a book of the Bible that starts with the letter H. You have 3 options. You can write Habakkuk, Hebrews, or Haggai. Now I will announce by order, okay?
Drum rolls, please.
We have 8 participants. I didn't have a representative from Mosaf or Dubai South. Well, Fujer is not here today. So we have 8. And I will start from 7 because there were 2 clubs, they got the same score. Okay. On number 7, we got Dubai Creek Lighthouse. Okay. On 6th place, we have Abu Dhabi Center, Adak. Dubai Visayan. On the 4th place, 2 clubs got the same score. Al Ain and Abu Dhabi International. On 3rd place, we have Sharjah. 2nd place, Ras Al Khaimah. And 1st place, we have Dubai Center.